are first-timers. Eminem gets his first nomination. How is it Lionel Richie is nominated the very first time here? Dolly Parton gets her first nomination.
Oh, she's in.
She's a shoo-in, I think. Tribe Called Quest.
Hey.
Beck and Duran Duran all getting their first nominations into the Rock Hall. Some of the returning champs. Oh, and Carly Simon gets her first nomination, too. That's a bit of a surprise, too, that she's not in there. I guess it's never a surprise when you hear about people who aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but it's when you see them nominated where you go, oh, they're not in there. Rage Against the Machine gets a return nomination. The New York Dolls, Judas Priest, who always leads my fan vote. Judas Priest should have been in a long time ago. Dionne Warwick, Kate Bush, Devo back in. They take another swing at it. The MC5, Eurythmics, Fela Kuti, who was near the bottom of the fan voting. A lot of people are unfamiliar with him, but he's basically the grandfather of world music. Pat Benatar is back in. Pat Benatar is back in there. So it's an interesting, good, long list. I think Dolly Parton is probably a shoo-in.
Yeah.
I don't know another shoo-in on this list.
Eminem?
Yeah. Maybe? You think so?
Eminem and Dolly Parton are for sure.
Yeah. Eminem and Dolly Parton, okay. So who else will probably get in? I mean, again, we'll chop this up with Andy later on. Lionel Richie, Pat Benatar.
God, yeah.
I feel like.
That's it.
No Rage Against the Machine?
Oh, no, Rage will get in.
I wouldn't say a shoe-in.
I mean, they were nominated last year.
Yeah. I'm surprised they weren't in.
Do they care? Or they're the ones who are like, screw it?
No, I think that they would probably say, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, for all of their anti-establishment kind of vibe, Tom Morello is... he's a guy that's knows where their musical influences came from, and he's got a kind of a very wide array of musical appreciation.
And is he going to turn down the opportunity to do a duet with Dolly Parton? I don't think so.
I think the induction ceremony is in New York this year, though, right? It's not here. Because they just had it here.
They had it here, but are they still bouncing back and forth?
I think now they're bouncing back and forth between New York and here, whereas before, I think cut LA out. So you could go down the list of bands they snubbed. Weezer, they're well within the nomination guidelines. Weezer, Oasis, Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden, I thought, got nominated last year. They're not on this year. Soundgarden didn't get nominated. The Smiths, you can make a case for them being in there. Sonic Youth. So all kinds of bands that you could make a case for being in there. There are people who think that Daft Punk should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But who knows? They certainly, their influences they wear right on their sleeve.
Are the Misfits in? They should be in.
No, the Misfits are not in, to the best of my knowledge. I think the MC5 should be in. I think Devo should be in. I love Kate Bush, but I don't see her getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I think Judas Priest should be in.
Oh, I like Judas Priest.
Of course you do. What's your favorite Judas Priest song?
Personal Jesus.
Listen, did Depeche Mode get in? They were nominated. They didn't get in, right?
They didn't get in.
See, it's interesting to me where I guess they don't just take the leftover nominees and put them on the next year.
Right.
But if you're on one year and don't get in, and you're not on the next year.
Yeah, because Nine Inch Nails, they didn't get in, right? And they were
Nine Inch Nails did get in.
Oh, they did get in?
Yeah, I think they did, yeah.
I don't think they did.
I thought they did.
Yeah, because...
I thought it was the COVID year. Yeah, they got in 2020.
Who did he say that Trent
So it was all
Reznor-
virtual.
Cody said that Trent Reznor was the lead singer of...
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we talked about
I don't remember that. Of course you don't, because everyone to you was the lead singer of Led Zeppelin. Yeah, Nine Inch Nails got in 2020.
Okay, good.
And I thought Depeche Mode did too, but I could be wrong about that.
2020 is a tough one to remember.
That's right. So anyway, we'll chop that up with Andy Leach from the Rock Hall a little bit later on, but they made the announcements this morning, and it's always fun when they do because, we get to spend weeks whining and complaining about who should be in and who shouldn't.
Why wasn't Weezer even nominated? They had 2.5 good albums.
Yeah. Depeche Mode did go in the same year as Nine Inch Nails,
okay.
So they are in there.
See, I was thinking of last year. So
they were inducted by Charlize Theron.
Ooh. I'd let her do lots of inducting to me.
Ew.
Your own personal Jesus. Right. When is Ice JJ Fish going to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? That's what I want to know. Remember Ice JJ Fish? The pride of Aurora, Illinois?
I don't think I know that one.
Oh, you don't?
It's something about the girl that just makes my head wanna twirl. Oh, you got me want to tell all them other girls there's nothing else better on this world. The moment I seen her,
This is a big hit, too, called On the Floor. You remember this, don't you?
Yeah, I've heard this. I just didn't know that he had reached eligibility.
I think that he has. Oh, no, I don't mean this year. When is he going to get in like 2040? I mean, this is from, I think he's having a seizure. Oh, he's dancing. This is 2014. Anyway, listen.
I love it.
I do too. Boy, you want to go back and look at your video from years ago and realize that both of the models in it are now moms? That would be a weird flex too. And you're not the dad, but a couple of hotties in that Ice Double J Fish video. And I wondered if he didn't get sued over that either, because I can only imagine that he took his name, since he's from suburban Chicago, from a Chicago chain called JJ Fish and Chicken. The original #1 fish place. If you ever find yourself outside Midway Airport in Chicago, cross the street carefully and get over to JJ Fish and Chicken. And you won't be disappointed. Speaking of fish.
These girls are way too hot to be in this video.
Very, very hot. But they're looking for exposure and, right.
And they got it. 10 million views.
Right?
Yeah. Speaking of fish, do not put, if you are concerned at all, let's say you're an amateur ichthyologist, right? You're concerned about fish. Don't put them in a small, round fish bowl. That's been deemed abuse.
Uh-oh.
Now, I think they've also determined that it's a myth that goldfish have a really short attention span. Because if they did, it wouldn't matter what they remembered because they'd forget it in about a half an hour. But apparently there are scientists who do all kinds of studies all the time. Whatever you can conceive of, there's somebody studying it. And sometimes those things can be very important. You know, my older daughter had a fish that she won at a fair, and it lived for 12 years.
Oh, geez.
She got it when she was a little girl, and it just died last summer. And I'd never heard, I'm sure it's not unprecedented, but I'd never heard of a goldfish that you brought home in a bag living that long.
Yeah.
Right?
It's usually a couple days.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, those things scare me. The ones that live the longest, I'm like, what type of radioactive fish are you?
Carny fish.
You get it from a fair and then it just like grows, the eyes get bigger and it's just watching you? No.
Well, the stereotype is always that goldfish die very, very quickly, but they also say that's not the case either. It's just a lot of those kids bring them home in a bag and forget about them.
Yeah.
And that's why they die. You can keep a fish alive for a while, right? But anyway, she put this fish into a huge tank. Now, when I was a kid, I guess if you call it a pet, my very first pet was a goldfish.
Fish are the dumbest pets.
Huh?
Fish are the dumbest pets.
You mean they're dumb or it's dumb to have
It's
them?
dumb to have one.
Yeah, but it's like an entree into taking care of something if you're a kid, right?
My boyfriend got his daughter a fish, and he cleans it out the bowl. He feeds it like... I'm like, why'd you get a fish?
Nora has a fish that she's had for quite some time, and she and I will clean the bowl. It's like a
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah,
It's like
he
a little
does that
tank.
too,
It's
I
not a
guess.
round bowl. It's like a long tank. And so once a week, we'll clean Rainbow's tank. And it's a little thing that we'll do. Strain the rocks, kind of scrub it up, whatever. So they're saying, hey, if you have a goldfish, don't put it in a round bowl because it'll drive the fish crazy. Now, my thought is, I would love to see a fish go crazy. I don't know how they quantify that. I don't know how they figure that out. This is a French aquarium company who was doing a study, and they said that they will no longer sell round fish bowls because cramming a goldfish into such a small space amounts to abuse. Cuts her lifespan way down, and basically going around and around in a small bowl drives fish crazy and kills them.
They need to be able to stretch their fins.
But part of it, too, is that, like, don't fish like other fish?
I don't know
Well,
anything about fish.
I think fish like company. So if you put it alone in a round bowl, I could see where that would be a problem.
I like aquariums. Big, giant fish tanks with lots of different fish in it. I like looking at that.
That's dope.
One fish. We have a small round bowl. This is abuse. I'm going to have to tell him, hey, you're abusing. You're doing fish abuse.
Probably dying right now.
This is fish abuse. Right. Now, I only mention this because there are going to be people who don't care about fish abuse. They go, that's a fish. It doesn't even know where it is. Right? Mm-hmm. You think the fish who are in the tanks at Walmart or Meijer are doing any better? They're still in a tank.
Yeah, but it's not a circle.
No, but I mean, that's the only view they're ever going to have unless somebody comes and scoops them out and throws them into a bowl.
I'm glad you brought the story up because this isn't a mini-series we're covering on the Codcast.
I thought you might be. This is kind of why I led you into it because, of course, Mary's fishing and fish-centric podcast, The Codcast, is really blowing up.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be personally investigating all fish abuse crimes.
Fish abuse crimes.
Anybody with a round bowl, you better upgrade because. Hello, Mary Santora, Codcast fish expert.
How
You're
did
going to go door to door to do it.
Wow. How did you graduate from Codcast host to fish police? Like the old comic book.
They go hand in hand.
Oh.
It's just an online test. It's very easy.
Okay.
Yeah. You just go through about 25 questions. And
wait, this is something that they have to voluntarily take? And then you determine from that if they're abusing their fish?
I took the 25-question quiz to become a cop.
Like getting ordained online.
Yes.
I see.
Fish cop.
I see. Mary Santora, fish cop.
But yeah, there's no database of those who purchase round bowls, so I am going to have to go door to door.
So it's not a stringent process then. You can pretty much just kind of go through there and
it's time consuming.
You answer these questions and then you're Mary Santora, fish cop. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So now I've taken it upon myself. With great power comes great responsibility, and I must go door to door all over the greater Cleveland area to find the round fish bowls.
Is it a great power?
It is a great power.
I mean, I'm all down for the responsibility part. All right, well then, be on the lookout, everyone.
No.
If you're a fan of marine life, Mary Santora, fish cop, is on the case.
Are you officially like working for
Nice
a
pun.
government?
Officially.
Yeah. I'm trying to set up another one. Are you an actual like working for a government agency, or are you working independently?
A government agency.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. What is it?
The COD.
The FBI.
I was hoping you'd say independent because they say
What is it?
private walleye.
Yeah, you get it.
He's trying to tell you he didn't have one for
He didn't
each
have one, no.
answer, right?
I had the private one because I didn't think you were.
like
didn't think you were a
CIA.
government. Yeah.
It's a government agency.
SEAIA.
Yeah. Good one, Cody.
I like how Bill tried to steer you, though. Are you sure it's not independent? No, it's a government agency. Are you sure?
Well, that's dumb. That's a waste of my tax dollars.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Mary Santora, fish cop, is out there on the glass case
Yes.
to figure it all out.
And that's what it is. I do camera takes like Bill does, but I turn around in my chair and I go, Mary Santora, fish cop, like that. And that's one of them. And then the next one I'll go, Mary Santora, the glass is half empty.
This case is finished.
Right. I'm here to make waves.
That's right. These scales of justice
Are tipping in
are
your favor.
even now. That's right. So anyway, just something to consider if you're someone who leans toward, aquatic life. It can be very calming for you, not so much for them. I love this line, the dangers of fish bowls have long been on PETA's radar. Well, now you can add Mary Santora to their ranks. So she's going to be out there making sure. Listen, I don't know how you find out where the fish are. How do you know on what doors to knock?
I have to go door to door to all the doors.
Every door.
Every door.
That's
Apartment
a lot of doors.
buildings, everything. That's
Lot
why I
of
said,
doors.
with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, okay.
There's got to be a quicker way, but like I said, there's no database of round bowl fish owners.
Huh. So if you have a round bowl fish, can be on the lookout for Mary Santora.
Fish cup.
Right.
Guilty.
There you go. So, well, listen, I like that you're.
I'm
I like that you're
expanding my
doing this.
horizons.
There you go.
Yeah.
And with Valentine's Day coming up,
Big deal. It's
what a
one of our
better
biggest
time
days.
for romance. Listen.
Dating people out of your league.
Oh boy. Right. So.
You can hear everybody.
I know. You can smell the wood burning.
What is that, boat?
You can smell the wood burning.
Lake. What about a lake?
Lake.
Thanks for
river.
trying to school us.
Hey!
There you go.
Can we just be finished? Thank you.
Okay, so
You don't want to back that bass up?
if you have a round fishbowl, just consider changing it.
Mary's on her way.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you.
This segment's a flounder.
Hey, he killed it.
He had 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
he had 2 out
murdered
of 3.
it. I know.
CIA was so good.
CIA was perfect.
CIA was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And this is a flounder. Not how that's. Okay, listen. His timing is still impeccable because I have to go to a break and remove us from this embarrassment. If you want to get your hands on some tickets to see the May Day Parade, they're going to play March 15th at the Agora. I will have a pair for you after this break. And then another $1,000. Listen for that keyword to go fund yourself coming up at 3:30.
The Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart device. Just